Hello everyone, welcome to mvpvishwakosha. Today we are discussing 6th August 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about India, that is 50% tariff by USA. Okay, recent, that is on August 6th, 2025. US President Donald Trump signed an executive order raising tariff on most Indian goods to 50%, citing India's ongoing purchase of Russian oil as the primary cause. So the initial 25% tariff took effect on August 7th. So this followed by an added 25%, bringing the total to 50%. Okay, so this implementation that these duties are slated to take effect approximately 21 days post order, that is late August, and bearing exemptions like pharmaceutical, smartphones, and non-Russian fuel sectors and all. Okay, very important because this sectoral impact, that is approximately that 55% of India's export to the US, including textiles, gems, and jewelry, and machinery and chemicals, are affected by the new tariff. And also some example to increase it, that is when April, that is 60.3%, textile and made up, that is 59%, gems and jewelry 52.1%, and machinery and appliances 51.3%, and netted April, that is 63.9%. So due to this, some of the stock market reaction and economic growth and all, you should know, and also some government and strategic response. In this, Indian leadership stands that PM Narendra Modi emphasized safeguarding the interest of farmers, daily workers, and fishermen, underscoring that India will not compromise on their welfare even at a high cost. Okay, in this, some diplomatic moves will be there, that India denounced the tariffs as extremely unfortunate, with the government preparing measures to protect national interest. And also ahead of that is Modi's first visit to China in over 7 years. So PM Modi appears to be exploring alternate alliance. And also Brazil President Lula has proposed discussing the issue with the BRICS for a coordinated response. Okay, and in India's perspective, that policy opportunity is there, right? That is Amitabh Kant, former Niti Aayog head, called this situation an once in a generation moment, and Agnipath moment, urging India to pursue structural economic reforms to overcome these type of protectionist barriers. Okay, very important. That is about recent news, that US increased the tariff on Indian goods to 50%. That is effective in late August 2025. Next point, that is about a recent report about Bank of Baroda's study on bond switching. Okay, that is Bank of Baroda. That study reveals that the Indian government has saved a significant of rupees 560 crore in interest outgo this fiscal year by employing bond switching strategies. Okay, up to that, from just 50 crore saved in the same period last year. Okay. Here you should know about what is that bond switching. Actually, that bond switching is a debt management tool where the government replaces short-term maturing bonds with long-term securities. Okay, so that means that debt management, it is a type of tool. Okay, in the management, so that the government replaces that there is a short-term and long-term maturing bond is there, right? So in that, it replaces the short-term maturing bonds with the long-term securities, and also this helps elongate the debt maturity profile, providing breathing space and reduce immediate interest payment burdens. Okay, why it is important? Because it will interest cost saving of 560 crore, right, rupees in the current fiscal year, indicate more efficient debt saving servicing, and also strengthens the government physical management, and creates hand room for development spending also. And also important in the context of rising debt maturities and stressed public finance. Very important, that is about government saved 560 crore via bond switches. This is a physical, that is last year, that is 50 crore versus this year. Okay, so that is about that news. Next is about that is Pollution Control Board, that is Supreme Court's landmark ruling allowing a Pollution Control Board to directly impose environmental compensation. Okay, that is Supreme Court of India upheld the authority of Pollution Control Boards to impose and collect restrictionary or compensatory damages, as well as the demand bank guarantees, to prevent or remediate environmental harm under the Water, that is Prevention and Control Pollution Act 1974 and Air and Prevention and Control Pollution Act 1981. The exam perspective, these two acts are very, very important. You should know about that Water Act 1974 and that is Air and Prevention and Control Act 1981. Okay, so this decision reversed the previous Delhi High Court ruling that had barred such powers, treating them as punitive action reserved for formal legal proceeding. The Supreme Court distinguished between compensatory preventive measures versus punitive sanctions, affirming that pollution control boards can act under their administrative mandate for remedial purpose. So in this, the court emphasized that these powers must be exercised in fair, transparent, and non-arbitrary manner with detailed subordinate legislation, specifying the procedure and ensuring natural justice. Okay? So in this, you should know about that Section 33A of Water Act and 31A of Air Act, okay, are central empowering Pollution Control Board to issue binding direction, including compensation and bank guarantee as ancillary measure to curb environmental harm. Okay, so the ruling reinforces key environmental all that the polluter pays the precautionary principles which tenants environmental law. Okay, this is about recent news, that is Pollution Control Board can impose environmental compensation and demand bank guarantees. Okay, that is about Supreme Court ruling. Exam perspective very important, that is environmental governance, constitutional and administrative law, and policy and legislative outlook, and ethics and Indian environmental related. It is very important. Next news, that is about Dharali cloudburst disaster in Uttarakhand. Okay, you know, right? A sudden and intense cloudburst of a possible glacial debris collapse in the upper catchment of the Kirganga River triggered devastating flash floods and landslides in Dharali village located in Uttarakashi district of Uttarakhand. Okay, so the torrent swept through some homes, shops, and hotels, leading to widespread devastation. Right, with at least 4 to 5 confirmed deaths and more, ranging from 50 to over 100 still missing, including civilians and soldiers from army camp. Okay, and you know, as that happened, that rescue and relief operation, that is by Indian Army, NDRF, SDRF, ITBP, and local authority mounted extensive rescue operations. And also all that latest update that 190 people have been rescued, and also state health department is on high alert with emergency medical teams and deployed and all. And also relief funding, that is rupees 20 crore has been sanctioned. Okay, very important, by CM and all. And also some of the causes, that underlying causes and a broader implication. While media reported a cloudburst, expert and scientists suggest a possible glacial lake outburst and or debris damage collapse expected by a climate change or fragile Himalayan geology. So in this perspective, you should know about that cloudburst and all that, very important. Okay. Next, this event reflects a broader trend of increasingly frequent extreme weather events propelled by climate change and worsened by unplanned developed deforestation and infrastructure built in fragile mountain zones. Okay, very important. Okay, that is about recent Dharali village Uttarakanshi Uttarakhand incident. Okay, that is disaster risk management. In that, it is very important. Next news, that is about isotope, that project. Okay, you know about rhinos, right? So in that, the University of the Witwatersrand, in collaboration with International Atomic Energy Agency, launched an isotope project, a bold anti-poaching measure that involves injecting radioactive isotope into rhino horns to make them detectable by radiation scanners at airports and borders. Okay, so this pilot trial conducted over the first years successfully inoculated, that is around 20 rhinos. The current phase involves injecting 5 additional rhinos, marking the start of a broader rollout. Okay, so in this, isotopes used are low level and harmless to the rhinos confirmed through veterinary and cellular test. And also even a single treated horn triggers radiation alarms. Tests show detection capability even inside 40 food shipping containers and all that language and booths. So this tagging also renders the horn useless or toxic for human use, and also lowering its black market value and serving as an effective deterrent. Okay. Very important. This rhino population have plummeted from that is almost that 5 lakh. Okay, in the early 20th century to around 27,000 today. Okay, with South African home to about 16,000, nearly 500 rhinos are poached annually in the country. Okay, very important that rhinos project offer a novel deterrent to tracking by combining conservation science and nuclear security infrastructure. With this university and the IAEA, hope this method will be scaled up across the rhinos population in South Africa. So safeguarding key species in global conservation efforts. Okay, this is about rhizotope, that is project radiation based anti-poaching methods. Okay, conservation and all. Next point, that is about recent news about BrahMos missile system update. So this the Defense Acquisition Council under the Ministry of Defense has approved the procurement of over 110 additional air-launched BrahMos missile as part of modernization plans totaling rupees 67,000 crore aimed at augmenting India's strike and surveillance capacities across the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Okay, so following a successful use of that BrahMos in Operation Sindoor against Pakistan military target in May, and also India plans to place a large-scale order for this supersonic cruise missile, highlighting their growing strategic importance. So on this domestic front, that Prime Minister Modi also announced that BrahMos missile will now be manufactured in Lucknow, reinforcing India's push for indigenous defense production under the Vocal for Local initiative. Okay, you should know about that Vocal for Local initiative. And also India has also elevated its defense cooperation to a strategic partnership with the Philippines, underscoring the role of BrahMos in bilateral military ties and regional security in the Indo-Pacific. Okay, so this is you should know acquisition of 110 plus more air-launched BrahMos missile under the rupees 67,000 crore modernization package. Very important. Next is Agnishodh, that is a new Indian Army research cell inaugurated at IIT Madras. Okay, so that is Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi inaugurated Agnishodh, the Indian Army research cell at the IIT Madras campus. Okay, and also the cell is designed to transform that is academic innovation into field-ready defense technologies, and also that bridging large scale with real world military application. And also this Agnishodh aligns with the Indian Army's 5-pillar transformation, that is technology, adaptation, structural reform, human resource development, service integration and capability scaling. And also it is integrated with the IIT Madras Research Park, and also collaborating with the entities like Advanced Manufacturing Technology Development Center and Pravartak Technologies Foundation. And also the initiative focuses on emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, cyber security, wireless communication, additive manufacturing, and unmanned aerial system. And also it is also to upskill military personnel in these domains. And also the efforts underscores the Army's push for Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliance under the motto of Swadeshikaran se Sashaktikaran, and also compliance with national missions like India AI and Chip to Startup and Project Quilla. Very important that demonstrates India's integration of academia and defense for futuristic warfare capability, and also institutional collaboration, human resource development, and national tech mission impact. Very important. And also shift in military doctrine anticipating 5th generation warfare involving non-contract combat, physiological operations, and integration of smart technologies. Okay, that is about recent news of defense academic collaboration. Next is news about that is amithsha, that is officially become India's longest serving Union Home Minister. Okay, completing 2,258 days in office, that surpassed the previous recorded of 2,256 days held by LK Advani. So his tenure also exceeds that of Congress leader Govind Ballabh Pant, who held the position for over 6 years and 56 days. So these some landmark decisions, that abrogation of Article 370, that you should know, very important, and decline in left-wing extremism, that is Naxalism, and passage of Citizenship Amendment Act, you should know. Major criminal justice reforms, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyama. All this colonial era news, and also that is about longest serving Indian Home Minister in independent India, that is 2,258 days. Okay, and all that in this governance and internal security perspective and constitution and legal affairs, all that decisions and polity and executive dynamics, it is very important. Next news, that is about involving that national medical plants board, okay, that is under the Ministry of Ayush, signed two significant MOUs, that memorandum of understanding. So in that, the first is about NMPB and Ishwed Bioplant Venture Pune. So main objective is to utilize the tissue culture method to conserve and maintain the germplasm to rare, endangered and threatened medicinal plant. Actually, main aim of this one is to facilitate the supply of these critical plant species for the Ayush industry by the developing robust cultivation and maintenance protocols. And another one is tripartite MOU among NMPB, AIA and AIM Delhi. So its main objective to establish a national level medicinal plant garden at AIMS Delhi and via the All India Institute of Ayurveda, in aim to increase the public awareness and serve as an educational resource for student and patient and foster knowledge sharing of medicinal plants. Okay, that is very important. That event to strategies, MOUs, and all partners involved and focus area, and also significant to preserve the endangered species, bolster Ayush industry supply and public knowledge and research opportunity, and also vision alignment and all that supports PM vision, self-reliant and all institutional impact that will strengthen collaboration between government bodies, research institutions, public health education, and also in environment and conservation, health and Ayush integration, public awareness, education, and institutional coordination. It is very important. Okay. Next news that is about Asian, that is giant tortoise. Okay, it is last news. That's an initiative in Nagaland. Okay, that is endangered. 10 critically endangered Asian giant tortoise that is breed at Nagaland Zoological Park, home to India's largest assurance colony, were reintroduced into the Zeiliangcommunity forest in Peran district, that is in Turkey National, under the soft release model. Okay, so the Nagaland State Forest Department partnered with the Indian Turtle Conservation Program and Turtle Survival Alliance India, engaging the local Zeiliang community in conservation effort. So in this community-driven conservation, very important that local tribal youths such as Zeiliang Nagar youths have been appointed tortoise guardians, and also they monitor the tortoise, collect data and play critical role in raising awareness to curb hunting. And also the tortoise were placed in soft release enclosure to acclimatize and develop sight field before being fully released. Their movement will be tracked using VH telemetry. Okay, very important that read about that and all, that Asia's largest tortoise and IUCN listed as critically endangered and ecological role, and also conservation strategies and institutional partnership. And also in exam perspective, in biodiversity and environmental governance, forest and wildlife laws, tribal and community empowerment, and data-driven conservation, it is very important. Okay, that is last news. That is about Asian giant tortoise. Okay, Nagaland reintroduced. Okay, that is about 6th August 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all competitive exams. Thank you.